Let's begin with the poll. 47% say they are contented with their lives, 10 points higher than last year. Almost 75% say they agree with the statement, I never doubt the existence of God. Rabbi, why don't you begin? What are we seeing here? Is this a major change in religion over a year?
I can tell you that the graduates of our seminary are coming back and telling us that their positions as rabbis are showing them things that we never saw before. People are really turning now towards spirituality, if not more organized and formal religion. And this is because the priesthood of psychiatry has been found in many circles to be bankrupt. It's because we can only go so far in the world when it comes to science and what we know and what we can fit into our test tubes and our microscopes. But there's a lot more to it, a lot more spirituality to it. I see it, you know, on this holiday of Hanukkah, Jewish kids all over the world spin a dreidel, a little top. And I would compare it, people looking for answers in life and going to different things, to sort of spinning a dreidel, you know. We spin around looking for answers, and one day we come up with this answer, and the next day we come up with a different answer, you know, all kinds of answers. We're spinning, we're looking. One day it's science, and the next day it's religion, and the next day it's spirituality. So we're sort of like this dreidel.
Reverend Caliandro, then, are we, Rabbi?
Well, there's an interesting two theories of history. One is the linear and one is the cyclical. The linear theory of history says that we are progressing through technology and really growing. We would point to the fact that look how far we've come in this world over the last 150, 200 years. And the linear says we've really come a long way. The cyclical says we've come nowhere. And all the progress that we've really made was born out of our desire to destroy. And penicillin came out of World War II. Atomic energy came out of the man's desire to kill. So we're everywhere, and yet we're nowhere. And this is the argument. Technology has not really done it. I was driving down to your studios here today, down a corridor in New Jersey, which is representative of the highest level of technology that man has. And yet, scientists will tell you that that same corridor, where all this industry and factory is the highest level of cancer in the world. So you've got what we call in Hebrew, zeh leumat zeh, this opposite that. For every bit of progress we have technologically, we also have potential terrible damage and destruction.
Reverend,
doesn't answer the question that was just pointed out. We have a higher divorce rate than ever before. One would think that all we know about psychiatry and psychology and technology, it would help us in getting along with one another. But Soledad, the truth is, interpersonal relationships today are really worse than they've ever been, or certainly no better.
Agree with that really institutionalized religions sort of drop the ball and are not meeting the needs of their parishioners?
Well, you need structure because you cannot have creativity without structure. This program that we're putting on now, it has a tremendous structure around it in order to facilitate the creativity and the exchange of ideas that we're hopefully experiencing. So you have to have you have to have a structure, but it allows you to creativity, but you can't have all of one and none of the other. That's that balance that has to be there. I think that we had discussed this idea that many people in the world of entertainment and science now are turning towards what they consider as introductions to Kabbalah and mysticism. And
for example, Madonna
right.
and Sandra Bernhard, they study the Kabbalah. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I mean, you know, for them to study Kabbalah in 5 minutes is like trying to become a rocket scientist in 5 minutes. But all right, it's an entertaining idea. What they're discovering is that we grew up as kids with the idea of black and white and clear-cut answers. But mysticism and Kabbalah, and as I teach it in my groups, says that there is really nothing is as simple as it seems, and nothing is as complex as it seems. And that every being and every issue on this earth is both hidden and obvious. And when people begin to understand this delicate balance in relationship, then they begin to enter, as the Kabbalists say, the realm of spirituality, the realm of taking all that we are, our spiritual being, our intellectual being, and mixing them together to understand the nature of our existence.
Reverend, I'm going to cut you off there. Rabbi Spivak, agree that it's just too commercial?
Definitely there's commercialism here. This whole idea we've been discussing is nothing new. The prophet Isaiah said 1,000 years ago He railed against organized religion in the temple. He said, who needs your temple trampling against these things? The person that the Almighty looks to is the one who is broken of spirit and who seeks him spiritually.
Okay, I'd like to thank all our guests today, Reverend